I'm sorry you lost someone you cared about. This is indeed what's written on the paper attached to the bottle of wine my mother-in-law just gave me. At that moment, I feel as if an electric current has been sent throughout my body. Eddie, my husband, still did not let go of his phone even when he was taking a bath. My son Oliver is talking about a sister he doesn't know. My bottle of lotion has been moved, and other events up to now have been rapidly connecting in my mind. I'd been betrayed the whole time. I grabbed the bottle and dumped the contents down the drain. Eddie yells in surprise as the wine sloshes down the drain. "Wendy, what are you doing?" Eddie grabs my arm to stop me. "Look at this!" Eddie's color changes when I show him the message on the label. "What's with this message? I'm sorry you lost someone important to you. Mom's acting weird." Eddie angrily calls my mother-in-law. "My name is Wendy. I live with my husband Eddie and my son Oliver." Eddie has a shaven face, big brownish eyes, and shiny short hair. A mom friend would say, "Oliver's dad is so cool." I was proud to be his wife, too. My son Oliver is only 6 years old, but he has a beautiful face just like Eddie's, and I'm looking forward to seeing it in the future. He is an honest and sweet boy who laughs a lot and says, "I love you, Mom," at every opportunity. I was busy with work, childcare, and housework every day, but my life was full of joy. Recently, when I walk around town, I see many families and babies. Oliver's getting a little older now. Aren't you thinking about having a second child? Yes, I think so too. I'd love to have a girl this time. Eddie and I often talk about this, but the apartment we're living in now is not so spacious. The storage space is full of Oliver's toys and school stuff. We're expecting to have some more stuff in the near future. This apartment is not big enough for one more person, is it? I guess that's true. I think it's time for us to buy a house, too. I'm gonna take a bath first, Eddie said jokingly and headed to the bathroom with his phone in his hand. Eddie, you're gonna take a bath with your phone in your hand? If it gets wet, it'll break. I'm kind of addicted to this game right now. I'm in the middle of a limited time event. But it's waterproof, so it'll be fine. Eddie disappeared into the bathroom with a smile. What a kid, playing games on the phone again, I said to myself in disgust. The next day, I was visiting my in-laws with Oliver. Standing in front of the gate, I was overwhelmed by the house, which was magnificent as ever. I've been to my in-laws many times, but I still feel nervous. Hello, Oliver and Wendy, welcome! When I pressed the doorbell, my mother-in-law, Carmela, welcomed me. Oliver hugs his grandmother with great energy. Oliver's as lovely as ever. She smiled and patted him on the head. Carl, my father-in-law, also greeted him smiling, and we entered the living room. Wendy and Oliver, how nice of you to join us. Eddie's my only child, so Oliver's my parents-in-law's first grandchild. They seem to love him very much. Oh, Grandma, what's this? Oliver picked up a vase on the table. Oh, that's the new one I bought yesterday. As my mother-in-law was saying this, Oliver's hand slipped into the vase and fell on the floor. The vase broke with a loud bang. I rushed over, but Oliver did not seem to be hurt. Mother, I'm sorry. You just bought this vase, didn't you? It looks so expensive. Grandma, I'm sorry. Oliver and I apologized, and my mother-in-law smiled at us without showing any sign of anger. It's okay. I'm glad Oliver wasn't hurt. Grandma will clean up the mess, but Oliver, you can go play in the other room, okay? I bought him some new toys. Thank you. Oliver runs off. I picked up the pieces of the vase with my mother-in-law. I'm so sorry, Mother. Did you buy him another new toy? It's fine. I bought it for Oliver. She finishes cleaning up the broken vase and hugs Oliver, who is playing with the toy. Oliver looks just like Eddie when he was little. I'm so glad he doesn't look like his mother. My mother-in-law was certainly kind to Oliver, but sometimes she has a prickly way of talking to me that bothered me. Come to think of it, Oliver's already 6 years old. Are you thinking of having a second child? My mother-in-law suddenly asked me. We've been thinking about it lately, but our apartment is too small. I'm not sure if we should buy a house if we're serious about having a second child. As I was saying this, my mother-in-law's face lit up. How about building a house right here in our yard? What? If we live together, we might be able to take care of each other. But if we build separate houses, we won't have to worry about each other. Besides, we can save money on the land. The garden of the house is certainly large enough. And it would be nice to save money on the land. However, the fact that my in-laws were going to live with us, even on the property, was not a decision I could make right away. I'll discuss it with Eddie, I said to my in-laws with a smile, and we had a chat. We had a good time, and I took Oliver home satisfied. That night, I talked to Eddie about the idea of moving in together. That sounds great. It's great we don't have to pay for the land, Eddie said with a carefree smile. From that point on, the discussion about living together on the same property proceeded smoothly. I was hesitant, but I thought Oliver would be able to spend more of his free time if he had a bigger house. So we agreed to build a house on my parents-in-law's land. And we're allowed to stay at my parents-in-law's house until the house was built. Oliver was very attached to my in-laws. Eddie seemed to be comfortable in his own house, and the days went by peacefully. One day, I had to attend the wedding of a friend from my school. I was thinking about not going to the wedding because it was far away, but Eddie said to me empathetically, "You're always going to do your best. You should spend more time with your friend, at least on occasions like this. Mom and Dad will be here, so they can take care of Oliver." Eddie seemed to be saying this from the bottom of his heart, without any sense of strain. Thank you, Eddie. I was grateful to my husband for saying this to me. I decided to attend my friend's wedding and stay overnight. "Are you going out, Mom?" "Yes, I'm going to stay over for one day." "Oliver will watch over the house for me, won't you?" I was only worried about Oliver, who looked sad on my way out, but seeing my friend from school for the first time in a long time made me feel better, so I went home. "I'm back!" When I came home and entered the room, I felt something strange. The arrangement of things in my room seemed different from yesterday. "Huh? Yesterday? Welcome home, Mommy! I'm home! Eddie, did you touch my things?" "What?" Eddie, holding Oliver in his arms, looks away from me. "Mom cleaned it up for us." "What? I have to thank her then." I'm grateful for the cleaning, but a little uncomfortable. Do I smell something sweet? I twitched my nose. There's a sweet perfume-like smell lingering in the room. "Yeah, I'd better go and thank my mother before I forget about it." "Yeah, I guess so." Eddie urges me to go to my mother-in-law with the living room and thank her. "Thank you, Mother, for cleaning up the house while I was gone." "That's all right. You've been busy working too, so you can count on me to do the cleaning," my mother-in-law said, smiling. I appreciated the sentiment, but I was not comfortable with my mother-in-law touching my things. But I couldn't think of anything I could say to my mother-in-law that would not offend her. Since then, while I was out of the house for work, my mother-in-law would enter my room. I found more and more signs that my mother-in-law had entered my room while I was away at work. Oh, she moved some things again, I muttered to myself as I put the lotion back where it had been. Even though they were my in-laws, I hated the fact that they were touching my things without my knowledge. But my mother-in-law does it out of the goodness of her heart. I'm not sure how to express my feelings to my mother-in-law. How should I tell my mother-in-law how I feel? Hey, Mom! What's wrong? The other day, I played with a nice lady. Oh, really? I'm so happy for you. Which one? She's my dad's best friend, and she's my mom, too. Oliver is 6 years old, but there were many times where he would say things that I was not understanding what he was saying. Did you play make-believe together? But the shy Oliver rarely, if ever, mentioned anyone I didn't know. I spent the rest of my days feeling as if something was stuck in my throat. A few months later, the house was finally completed. The time between the start of the construction and the completion of the house was rather quickly. Thanks to the fact that we didn't have to pay for the land, we were able to spend that money on the house itself. The house is now complete. It's finally built! We have a great house! Both Eddie and Oliver seem to really like their new home. Congratulations on your new house, Eddie! My mother-in-law said as she came out of their house. Thank you, Mother. I bought this for you to celebrate your new house. Drink it if you'd like. My mother-in-law handed me a well-made paper bag. What? Isn't this a very expensive wine? I asked in surprise, to which my mother-in-law replied with a laugh. It's $1,000 a bottle, but it's a celebration of the building of a house, so don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. $1,000? One bottle is Eddie's wine, and the other is your wine. I chose them to match your respective images. You must each drink your own bottle. My mother-in-law finished quickly and returned to their house. I worried about my mother-in-law's attitude, but decided to have a glass of wine after Oliver went to bed. Well, since your mother gave us this wine, let's drink it right away, I said to Eddie and took the bottle out of the paper bag. I noticed something written on the label. I'm sorry to hear that someone important was taken from you. That's what it said. At that moment, I felt as if an electric current had run through my body. Eddie had not let go of his phone since he was taking a bath. Oliver was talking about a lady whom I didn't know. That bottle of my body lotion had been moved. The events of the past are rapidly connecting in my mind. I had been betrayed all along. I grabbed the bottle and dumped out the contents down the drain. Eddie yelled in surprise and wine sloshes down the drain. Wendy, what are you doing? Eddie grabs my arm to stop me. Eddie, look at this! Eddie's face changes color as he reads the message on the label. I'm sorry to hear someone important was taken from you. Mom's acting weird. Eddie angrily calls my mother-in-law. She comes to us with a pale face. Mom, what in the world? Eddie's furious with my mother-in-law, but I tell him coldly. You're just as guilty, aren't you? What? Eddie looks back at me with a surprised face. I assume this message is about your fling, right? Fling? No, of course not. What are you talking about? Eddie seemed very confused, but suddenly interrogated by me. I already know. You've been cheating on me since we lived in the apartment, haven't you? My mother-in-law, realizing that there was no way she could get away with it, began to confess. Yes, you're right. You remember when you once went to the friend's wedding and stayed overnight? That's when I caught Eddie at bringing home a different woman and having an affair with her. I knew it. His father was away on business at the time, so he doesn't know about it yet. Why did you know about Eddie's affair and you didn't condemn him for it? My mother-in-law's face lit up as if she was rectifying the situation. She's so beautiful, you know. She and Eddie match each other so well. They look like a prince and princess when they stand side by side. After meeting her a few times, I'm starting to think she might be more suitable as his wife. What? I don't understand what my mother-in-law is talking about. I want to help Eddie in whatever he does as long as he's happy. Wendy, they'd let all kinds of traces of their affair all over the house, and you haven't noticed any of them. So, the girl who got upset and wrote you that message, we went wine shopping together. My mother-in-law said it to me so matter-of-fact that I was shocked to hear her say it. So Eddie's been cheating on me by bringing a stranger into our house without a care in the world. You're both crazy! I'm gonna take Oliver and leave this house. Wait a minute, Wendy! Eddie stops me in a panic. You're cheating on me, right? Or do you have some kind of excuse? I love you too, you know? Please don't leave. If you love me, why did you cheat on me? I can't be with you guys anymore. When Eddie realized that my intentions were firm, he told me in a resigned tone. If you insist, I understand. Then do whatever you want. Get the hell out of here. I will leave as you wish. In exchange, I will also charge you alimony. Of course, you will be responsible for all the mortgage payments on this house, so please keep that in mind. Eddie and my mother-in-law both began to nag and complain. Hey, Wendy, don't you think you're being too cold? Yes, right. We bought this house together. We should be paying for it together. You're the one who did that. If you're an adult, you should take responsibility. If you refuse to take responsibility, I can take you to court. At the mention of the word court, Eddie and my mother-in-law stopped. Your behavior has been suspicious lately, so I consulted with a lawyer just in case. If you won't listen to our demands, I'm already prepared. I said that in a loud voice, and Eddie stood there unable to say any more. I then decided to file a claim against the cheating partner as well. Word spread throughout the company that the two of them had been having an affair. Eddie's partner was a junior colleague at the company where he worked, and it became a problem with the company. Eddie's partner left the company, and Eddie was demoted. When my father-in-law found out what happened, he and my mother-in-law divorced. My mother-in-law and Eddie were evicted from their home. They were living in a cheap apartment and trying to pay the remaining mortgage. It's all your fault, Mom. Eddie is shifting the blame towards his mother and cursing her every day. Eddie's mother, who lost her husband and the house they lived in and everything because of her favorite son's misdeeds, must be in shambles. Mom, let's race to the telephone pole! Oh, wait, Oliver! I was in relief to know that Oliver was happy and full of smiles even after the divorce. I promised myself I would continue to protect him with my own hands.